It's me again talking about the value of mistakes. So you guys who've been airbrushing for a little while know what the little term spidering is. And usually we see it as something that you kind of want to avoid at all costs. Please don't spider. And essentially how you do that is you put your airbrush really close to what you're working on and you pull your paint trigger all the way back and you put out a good high air pressure, and what you get are these little areas where the paint tends to be run to the edges, and it spiders, as they say. You get all these cute little legs coming off of them and all that. Well, what is usually a mistake if, say, you're doing a portrait of somebody or you're trying to make something look photorealistic, I'm actually doing quite on purpose. That is the spray paint version of my cabin in the woods that I've done. No relation to the movie, although the movie was awesome. And as you see, the moon is not solid over there, and I actually like that. That was an accident. What happened essentially, I was using a butter bowl lid for a stencil or for a masking thing. I'm bad with words today, but in order to mask off my moon, I was using a butter bowl lid. So I had the spray paint and I just spray painted my orange and then my yellow and then all of, all the stuff that I wanted. And then before it dried, I rammed that down on top of it, well, pow, and related to the fumes and the wet paint and the way it's solvent based and all of that, it actually wound up looking like that. So I was trying to figure out how to do something similar in airbrushing because I can't really use the spray paint anymore. 3 times whenever I used spray cans, I actually wound up with wheezing and bronchitis and couldn't breathe when I walked down the hall at work, and it was just bad. So I'm having to kind of change my methods around. So I figured out the problem that I had with the moon on one of my versions was it was too solid. It was too much one color, and well, not one color, but it was too smooth, essentially. And of course, if you look at the moon and if you look at astrology, astronomy websites or what have you, the reason it looks the way it does is because it has all these craters. So I was practicing some dots, and I made a spider accidentally, and then it hit me. If you put a bunch of spiders together, you get what looks like craters from afar. So, essentially, that's one little method you can actually use to turn a oh crap moment into a hey wait a minute moment. Bob Ross, the guy who did all the happy little trees and the oil painting, talks about what he calls happy accidents. So I'm going to tell you what he told me many, many times through PBS, not that I knew him. Happy accidents are actually one of the things that you can incorporate into your painting. Go ahead and use these things. And instead of saying, well, you're never, ever, ever supposed to spider because it shows bad control of your airbrush, just loosen up a little bit and say, I'm going to use what works. For me, this is what's working. So I'm going to keep on working with this with some lighter oranges and lighter oranges and lighter oranges and just keep spidering my little heart out. Also, speaking of happy accidents, you'll notice that I did the base coating, as I mentioned on one of my other videos. This time I used an actual brush instead of the roller, and I had some black left in my brush. And what I did was I took the yellow ochre and I took the autumn leaves and I took some medium yellow, all folk art, and I just basically laid them out in squiggly lines, and then took this brush and started doing this back and forth on the laminated side of the poster. Well, the black that was still in the brush came out in streaks, but then I actually found out I liked it. So sometimes you get lucky. Last little thing for this video. You will notice I have a black base-coated poster board over there. So I figured out this morning the difference between the 99-cent poster board at Walmart and the 30-cent poster board at Walmart is that the 99-cent poster board is a lot thicker and stiffer than the 30-cent. The 30-cent is more like the posters that you will find actually printed, the kind that have Justin Bieber or whatever stupid thing on them. Not that Justin Bieber's a stupid thing, just that, oh well, I can't defend myself. Anyway, sorry for the Justin Bieber fans. The poster board that is really thin curls up whenever you try to do a base coat of acrylic on it. So, since it is so thin, it's almost thin like a sheet of regular paper, what you can do is just thumbtack that sucker right to the wall just like that to stretch it while it's drying. Also, I would recommend, if you're doing a base coat, I'm not sure if the camera will pick this up, but instead of just doing black, I actually also did some dioxazine purple and some folk art midnight blue along with the black to kind of give it a little bit more depth. And it's not really showing up on camera, I don't think, but it is showing up in real life, so to speak. And what that does is, instead of having one flat black that just looks patently unnatural, you wind up with a little bit of variety, which is, you know, if you ever look at the night sky in nature, which is why I did that over there, it's not all black. It kind of lightens at the horizon line and it darkens the further up you go toward the dome at the top of the earth. So just to keep that in mind. So happy crafting. Hope you guys have a good afternoon, morning, whatever it is where you are. It's morning here, and I'll see you guys later.